also my PowerPoint presentation. So you will be able to see it. So let me just share my PowerPoint presentation now. Okay, so I have my own meme here of a self-introduction, as you can see in the presentation. So this is the meme that I'm talking about. Of course, you have submitted there a lot of memes already, and I did appreciate your submission. But this is the simple meme that I wanted everyone to submit. But of course, you did well, way more than I did. So I really congratulate you for that. So here you can see Hajime Mashite. That's the first word that you say when you meet someone for the first time. Watashi wa Supararo Junri desu. Kabankalan karakimashita. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So this is a simple self-introduction that a Japanese learner should learn, and that you have submitted this already. So congratulations for those who have submitted. For those who have not, please catch up. There is no exact deadline as to the submission because I want to be lenient with my students as long as you have your output submitted in Messenger or our Google Classroom. Okay, so the topic that we will discuss for this afternoon is titled Understanding the Japanese Language. This is session one. This is an incorporation of the first three, um, what do you call this? First three modules. I know that you have received already your modules. I will be uploading the first three modules also on the Google Classroom later so that you would be guided accordingly. But this covers the first three chapters of, or the first three modules of our lessons for this semester. We have these learning objectives or learning outcomes. First learning outcome is to establish basic understanding on the origin of the Japanese language. Second is to discuss some basic Japanese expressions. And finally, it's to use basic Japanese expressions in sentences, okay? Because we will be using the chat box extensively for your participation later. I want you to start typing your names, by the way, in the chat box because now it's being recorded. So when I print out a copy of the transcript later, all your participations, including your names, will be printed out. So those who wrote their names before I started recording the lesson would not be recorded. So that's why I am requesting you now to type your names below so that your attendance will be recorded. So thank you so much for those who typed their names. Okay, so we have here the outline of today's session. We will start with the pre-activity and then the origin of the Japanese language, useful Japanese vocabulary words and phrases, sample Japanese grammatical structures, and the post-activity and then the reflection. The pre-activity and the post-activity will be given as one activity at the end of the session, and this will be given to you as a form of a test, but it can be answered until tomorrow. So which means that the Google form that I will share with you today would be available until tomorrow at 12 noon. So after that, I would close the form already. Okay. So, but don't forget when you type your names later, you put CPSU first. Okay, CPSU, then your name, you type your family name. Okay, Lanyohan, example. So later, please do not forget to put CPSU first, ha? CPSU and then Lanyohan so that it would be easier for me to harvest your scores. Would that be fine? Okay lang po ba? Okay, so I take your silence as a yes. Let's proceed now with our, okay, so this second activity, okay? So I want you to type in the chat box your response to every simple question. Okay. So this is a form of a multiple choice, and what you're going to do is just to type the correct answer. So please be generous with your responses because it is now being recorded and it would be credited to you if you are participating actively. Okay. So the first question is, where do you think Japan is? Is it in Northeast Asia, North Asia, or West Asia? Can you please tell me where do you think Japan is? You can type your question in the chat box. Is it A, Northeast Asia, B, North Asia, or C, West Asia? So please type your answer in the chat box. Okay, please type it here. I'm not seeing any response yet. So please type your answer in the chat box. Aside from your name. Okay, thank you so much, Joy May. So Joy May said it's in A, Northeast Asia. Okay, B from Wendy, that's North Asia. Okay, so we have A and then we have B. So it's hati tayo, no? So the correct answer is A, is in Northeast Asia. Actually, it's in the upper part. If you're going to look at the map here, ito yung Philippines, ito yung Japan, ito naman yung Philippines, no? So it's in the upper part sa map natin. So if you ride a plane from Philippines to Japan, it will take you 4.5 hours to reach Japan. For around 4.5 to 5 hours, no? Yung distansya ng Japan pag sumakay tayo ng eroplano from Philippines to Japan. Okay? Now, second question is, what are the largest islands of Japan? Is it Osaka, Tokyo, Yokohama, and Nagoya, Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, or Hokkaido, or Kansai, Kanto, Tohoku, and Hokkaido? Okay, 1, 2, 3 lang po tayo, no? 1, Osaka, Tokyo, Yokohama, and Nagoya. 2, Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, and Hokkaido. And 3, Kansai, Kanto, Tohoku, and Hokkaido. In Japanese, we say Ichi. Ichi is 1, Osaka, Tokyo, Yokohama, and Nagoya. 2, Oni, Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, and Hokkaido. And the last is Sang, or 3, Kansai, Kanto, Tohoku, and Hokkaido. May I see your responses? Most of you answered 1. Okay. There are 3, 4 who answered 2. Okay, let's check. The correct answer is indeed 2. Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku, and Hokkaido. So you got it right. This is the map of Japan. Okay. As you can see here, we have Hokkaido in the north. That's the coldest part of Japan. We have Honshu in the middle. That's the biggest island in Japan, where Tokyo is located. We have Shikoku, smaller part of Japan. And we also have Kyushu, okay, and the lower part of Japan. Okay, let me just, let me just mute some of us kasi I think others are opening their, di ba nakabukas yung nakabukas ang mic. Okay, let me just close kasi nag-aano siya. Okay, so hindi ko yata Okay, so later. May I request June, Messiah, your phone June. Okay, thank you. Do you want to say something? Your mic is open.
Oh, nothing, sir.
Okay, so thank you. Okay, so let me proceed to the next part. We have here, what is the currency of Japan? Ano yung pera nila? 1, yen. 2, won. 3, baht. Okay, please type it in the chat box. Yan. So, okay, yen, tama. No, we have 1 yen, 1 yen. Okay, I think you're doing well. Alam na natin. Alam niyo ba kung magkano yung equivalent ngayon ng yen to peso? So the correct answer here is yen. And actually, these are the currencies of Japan. As you can see, pinakamalaking pera nila is 10,000 yen. Ito yung old and then the new one. Pinakamalaking coin bill nila is 500 yen. So 500 yen is around mga 220 pesos, more or less. Yung 10,000 yen naman is equivalent to more or less 4,500 pesos. Okay? So ito yung tinatawag na lapad. No? If you've heard about some people working in Japan na, binigyan ako ng isang lapad. No? Isang lapad is equivalent to 10 yen. And 10 yen 10,000 yen is equivalent to more or less 4,500 pesos. Okay, thank you. Now we have, what is the official language of Japan? This is very important because you are learning Japanese. So dapat alam natin, no, what we call the language of Japan. Is it Nippon, Nihonjin, or Nihongo? Okay. Is it Nippon, Nihonjin, or Nihongo? So alin dito yung tamang sagot? Okay. So 1, 2, or 3? Okay. So tama, no? Yung tamang sagot is 3. Tinanggal ko po yung isang G kasi maling spelling po yun. The correct spelling is Nihongo. Isang G lang dapat. Okay. Thank you. Now let's move on to the 5th. What is Japan's population as of 2010? Ito yata na 2010 na record. Is it 140 million, 120 million, or 100 million? Alin kaya dito? 1, 2, or 3? Okay. Ilan kaya yung estimate natin for the population of Japan? Ang Pilipinas ngayon, nasa around 105 na tayo, 105 going 110. Ang Japan kaya gaano kalaki sila? So merong 3, merong 2. Okay, yung 1 is 140, yung 2 is 120, then 3 is, okay. Correct answer is 120 as of 2010. Actually, Japan's population is decreasing because aging population yung Japan. Malaki pa din naman ang Japan compared to Philippines. That's why our population is smaller than theirs. Pero ang population ng Philippines, the trend is increasing. Yung Japan naman, yung trend nila is decreasing, no? Kasi nga, aging population sila. So as estimated, we have 114 million. No? 126 million yata in 2014. And in 2010, 128. So as you can see, it's decreasing yung trend nila. Okay? So how do you say good morning in Japanese? Alam ba natin? Konbawa, 1. Konnichiwa, 2. Ohayo gozaimasu, 3. So alin kaya dito yung good morning? Okay, so Joy, it's 3. Okay, Cherry also 3, 1D 3, June 3, ayan, Joy me. Okay, very good. So alam na natin yung pinakasimpleng greeting. Ohayo gozaimasu. So I hope everyone knows this. Konnichiwa is hello. It also means good afternoon from 10 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. If it's still bright, meaning it's still not dark, you can say konnichiwa. Pag gabi na kasi konbawa na, no? Ginagamit natin. Konbawa, yun. So, this time, let's learn something about Japan. Okay? So, we have different dishes here. Alam ko, foodie din ng iba dito sa inyo. Mahilig kayo sa pagkain, no? Gaya ng mga Hapon, they love food. So, let's talk about food, no? Yung mga mahahalagang pagkain or yung mga sikat, no, ng mga pagkain sa Japan that you might try when you visit the country. So meron tayong sushi, yung nasa pinakakaliwa, nakita natin, no? May sushi na fish, may sushi na egg, ayan, may sushi na meat, no, as you can see, at may fish eggs din tayo, no, as you can see here. Meron tayong shrimp na sushi na tinatawag nilang ebi, no, yung sushi nila. So iba-ibang iba-ibang sushi, pero yung pare-pareho sa kanila ay merong raw, meron ding luto. No, gaya ng egg, it's cooked actually, no. Hindi naman mahahawakan ng norima, yung nori, no? Yung ating tawag dito, yung seaweeds, kumbaga yung green part is the seaweeds. Next na food na mahalaga din sa kanila is the nabe. No, nabe actually is a hot pot. Okay? So during autumn or winter, especially winter and spring, malamig sa Japan, so they eat really hot dishes. No, yung nabe, ano lang naman yung nabe, no? Vegetables, meron silang nabe soup na inilalagay doon, tinatawag nilang dashi, no? Nung nandun ako, dashi yung tawag nila na pag nilagay mo na, amoy ano na siya, na parang Japanese na hot pot na siya. And then what you're going to do is just to put vegetables there. Vegetables, shrimp, no? And all the ingredients that you want to eat. Nabe na ang tawag doon kasi hot pot lang naman siya. Okay? And then we also have gyutan. No? Gyutan is one of my favorites actually when I was in Japan. No? Ito yung tinatawag nilang ox tongue, yung dila ng baka. And it's very tasty. No? Grilled siya. No? Pag kinain mo na siya, wala kang malalasahan na parang dila ng baka. Na masarap lang siya. So that's really one of my favorite dishes. And then we also have here the natto. No, ito nakikita natin, fermented beans yan. Yung beans na ferment nila na pag inano mo siya, meron siyang bubbles na ano no, na sticky bubbles kumbaga na nakikita doon. And then pag kinain mo siya, it's very healthy also. And we have ramen. No? I think it's everybody's favorite. Meron tayong bok choy in the Philippines, equivalent to ramen. So, masarap siya kainin. Now, of course, they have eggs, they have vegetables, meron ding meat. But of course, above all, yung pinaka-common na ingredient for ramen is the noodles. No? Na doon lamang sa Japan matitikman. We have noodles in the Philippines, but the original ramen is never available here in the Philippines. I went to Dumaguete. Meron silang Osaka restaurant doon. And the owner of that is actually a Japanese. I've even spoken to him. Hindi kayang i-transport or i-export nila or i-import rather yung noodles from Japan kasi nga yung shelf life ay mababa lang. So hindi kayang mag-travel na from Japan to Philippines yung noodles nila. So the noodles that are used in making ramen in the Philippines are not authentic Japanese noodles kasi nga they are local noodles. Iba yung lasa, no? And then we have different places. These are the original pictures I have taken when I went to Kyoto. No? Kyoto is an old city in the Philippines. I mean, in Japan. It's an old capital city of Japan. So we have different places here. Meron tayong Kinkakuji, made of gold po yan. Bahagi ng wall ng temple ay made of gold. May certain percentage. I think 15 or 20% of the wall is made of gold. So meron siyang part na gold. And then Roanji, this is also another temple na pinupuntahan. And as you can see here, this is the very popular kind of garden na tinatawag nating Zen garden. Alam ko ibang mga bahay merong ganito no? Kasi very relaxing siya if you look at it. Very relaxing. Very yung Japanese na na garden. Arashiyama. This is the place where you can see a lot of bamboos. Yung mga kawayan nila doon, walang mga twigs. No? Pag titingnan natin, pananonood ka lang ng mga Japanese or Chinese movies na mga yung mga characters, no? Nagkakarate sila sa mga kawayan. No? So it's very interesting. So ang tawag sa lugar na to ay Arashiyama. Okay? This is my favorite place because I've been to Sendai. I lived there for 2 years. Ito yung ng Sendai. Ito yung some of the attractions no sa lugar sa Sendai. So we have the Chuchujigaoka Koeng. So this is a park where you can see a lot of cherry blossoms, especially the flowers, no? Especially during spring, no? Pag hindi spring, nandun lang yung cherry blossoms, walang bulaklak. But during springtime, you can see a lot of flowers in there. At parang fiesta yan in Japan actually during spring. Kasi naglalagay sila ng nakikita mong mga flower, yung mga paper lanterns na makikita natin. And then parang fiesta talaga siya. And then you can see here on top, that's the Sendai Castle. The one on the horse, riding a horse, is known as Date Masamune. And Date Masamune is the one, or was the one who discovered Sendai. Siya yung nag-establish ng Sendai, no? Many, many years ago. And then we have the Jujenzi Dori. Dori is a street. Jujenzi is the name of the street. Juzenji Dori. So as you can see there, maraming ilaw. No? Every Christmas po to, Christmas time. If I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me right, from December 9 until first day of the next year, January 1st, nandun yung mga itong mga lights na to, no? Kasi yung street ay nakahilera doon yung tinatawag na Zelkova trees. Na ito yung mga Zelkova trees na pinapalamutian nila ng light bulbs, no? And during Christmas time until New Year, napakagandang tingnan. But you can see, puti yung puti yung floor, yung ground, kasi yan, winter. Kaya maraming maraming snow na. So these pictures, actually I took these pictures myself. We also have the Tokyo Disneyland, no? Tokyo Resort. So nandito yung Tokyo Disneyland, nandito yung Tokyo Disney Land and Tokyo Disney Sea. Na dalawa kasi yan, yung Tokyo Disneyland, meron din Tokyo Disney Sea. Sa Tokyo Disneyland, malimit yung pupunta mga bata. Sa Tokyo Disney Sea naman, malimit pupunta mga adults, no? Yung mga nagdi-date, halimbawa, no? Or yung basically may mga edad na kasi most of the rides are intended for adults. We also have, as you can see, yung pinakamaraming tao sa buong mundo, no? The what do you call this? Shibuya intersection. Ito yung pinaka-busy, the busiest intersection in the whole world. Pati tingnan natin, para tao na siya lahat, no? But actually, when the light is turned to green, yung mga dito, dumadaan mga sasakyan na yan, ng intersection yan. So this is the busiest intersection in in Japan. Okay, bigla yata akong nawala. Okay, let me share again. Okay, so let's move forward. So we have here Nara. Again, this is one of the oldest cities in Japan. At dito, makakagawa tayo, makikita natin yung Todaiji. No? Another temple here known as Todaiji. We also have Bento. Okay, we have the Bento here. Okay. Bento is a kind of lunchbox, no, made of wood ito, no, kinakain malimit sa Japan. And then deer feeding. If you go to Nara, you can commune with nature. Yung mga deer doon, hindi naman ganun ka-violent, no? Although they have large horns, but when you feed them, no problem with them. Now, let's talk a little bit of the origin of the Japanese language, no? So, the language in Japan is called as Nihongo. And the ethnicity there, of course, Japanese. There are a total of 125 million speakers, native speakers of Japanese in the whole world. The language family is Japonic, that's Japanese, and the writing systems, we have Chinese characters. Gumagamit silang Kanji, at meron din silang Kana, Hiragana, and Katakana. So in short, there are 3 types of writing systems in Japan. Kaya nga ako, dati, hindi ko mare-recognize alin dito yung Japanese, alin dito yung Chinese. Pag purong kanji yung ginamit, that's Chinese. But if there is a combination of kanji, hiragana, and katakana, ibig sabihin Japanese, no? Madaling ma-recognize, Japanese yan, no? Kasi kinumbine nila yung kanji, hiragana, and katakana. So, Japanese is an East Asian language spoken by about 125 million people, primarily in Japan. Nung nandun ako sa Japan, yung mga nag-aaral ng mga Japanese ay galing Europe, galing Amerika. Ang dami ring marunong magsalita ng Hapon, no, from other countries. Of course, mas lalong-lalo ng mga Pilipino, especially those who got married to Japanese, no, and are living in Japan. ang gagaling nila magsalita ng Japanese. This is the national language of Japan, and Titol is known of the language prehistory or when it first appeared in Japan. So Chinese documents recorded a few Japanese words from the 3rd century, but substantial texts did not appear until the 8th century. Okay? So Chinese had considerable influence on the vocabulary and phonology of Old Japanese from Heian period, no, from 794 to 185. That's BC, okay? And then Chinese in the features that brought closer to the modern language and first appeared of European loanwords, no, the Middle Japanese from 1185 to 1600. Okay? English loanwords in particular have become frequent, and Japanese words from English roots have proliferated. And very interesting, no? Kasi dati-rate, yung Japan, wala silang mga borrowed words. Pero ngayon, ang dami na nila. Pag sinasabi kasing English loanwords, ito yung mga words na in-adopt sa Japanese language. Can you identify some words na English siya originally, pero in-adapt nila, nagiging English loanword? I'll give you one. I don't know if you're familiar with mafura. Mafura in English is muffler. Okay? Pag sinabing muffler, yung nakalagay sa liig natin, especially during winter, malamig ang panahon, yung liig natin, pinoprotect natin from the cold. So, nilalagyan natin ng shawl or anong tawag doon? Scarf. Sa Japanese, they call it mafura. And mafura means muffler. Do you know any English word that is adapted in the Japanese language aside from mafura?
Beer.
Yes, June?
I think it's wrong, sir. Biro.
Biru. Okay. Yeah, actually, biru. Yeah, biru. Biru. So from the word beer. Yeah, you are right. Beer. Biru means beer. Biru. Okay. Actually, they also have the biru. Biru. Then talking about the buildings, biru, but biru that the beer, the alcohol that we drink is also acceptable. Yeah, you are right. That's also correct. Aside from mafura, we have biru. Biru. Okay. Maybe they pronounce it like biru. It's because in Japanese, they don't have the single R word in the end. So that's why they say it that way. Actually, ramen, although it's an original Japanese, not an English loan word, but ramen is always written in Katakana because this is also a loan word. I think it's originally from China, but the ramen now in Japan is considered to be part of their culture already. Okay. What about English? Japanese words from English roots. Okay, so these are the loan words as mentioned here. Okay. Word order is normally subject, verb, verb with particles marking the grammatical function of words, and sentence structure is topic. Okay, yung word order nila, normally subject muna and then verb, verb. So, halimbawa, sabihin ko, watashi, okay, junri desu. Okay, this is a sample. Junri desu. It's already a complete sentence. Now, I'm talking about myself. So, junri desu. So, junri here is the subject, right? And then des here is the verb. So, as you can see there, to complete the sentence, it could be, des is equivalent to the verb of being, which is. So, in English, you say junri is. But I think there is no exact translation of the word des, but it completes the sentence. As I mentioned here, junri des is a complete sentence already. Now, Japanese has no genetic relationship with Chinese, but it makes extensive use of Chinese characters, kanji, in its writing system, and a large portion of its vocabulary is borrowed from the Chinese. Okay? I don't know if you're familiar with kanji. For kanji, okay. I don't know if you're familiar with kanji, and I want to type something here. So English to Japanese. Okay, I want to type something. Um, okay, something in kanji. Okay, so I have here. I'll try to share it in the chat box. So this is a this is kanji. And do you know what kind of kanji this is?
Oh,
Okay, this actually means um, this is Nihon. Okay, Nihon. Nihon means Japan. Okay, so that is the kanji. Nihon means Japan. Actually, you can also write this in hiragana or katakana. Okay, so online. Okay, hiragana keyboard. Let me just type the online hiragana keyboard because I want to show you the difference between kanji and hiragana. Okay, so when you, for example, you type Japanese or Nihongo, for instance, ni, okay, hong. Okay, let me type here the word Nihon. Okay, so I have typed there now. As you can see, the kanji, right? That's the kanji for Nihon. This one is Nihon, and this is hiragana. Okay, so you see the difference. They have the kanji there for Nihon, Japan. We also have the way Nihon is written in hiragana. Okay, that's the hiragana way of writing it. We also have katakana actually. Okay, we can also type it in katakana. And katakana is okay, it's like this. Ni. Okay, let me just get the correct spelling here. So in katakana, Nihon is written this way. Okay, this is Nihon. If you are looking at the chat box, you can see there katakana. Okay, this is Nihon katakana. So you see the difference from kanji to to hiragana to katakana. Isang salita lang yung tinutukoy, pero iba-ibang pamamaraan kung paano isulat ito, no? So the word Nihon is written in 3 different ways. Meron tayong hiragana, katakana, and kanji. The rule of thumb in Japan is this. If there is yung mga technical terms nila malibet nakasulat yan sa kanji. Yung mga particles nila, yung des, for example, is written in hiragana. And then lahat ng mga borrowed words nila, galing sa ibang countries, sinusulat nila ito in katakana. That is why your name will also be written in katakana. Okay? So that will be your assignment next time. Now, I want you to write your name in katakana, pipicturean natin, i-upload natin sa ating group chat. No? Titingnan natin kung anong itsura ng inyong katakana na pangalan. No? Actually, if we are friends on Facebook, my profile has the katakana spelling of my name. No? So I'll share that with you later. No? Yung kung ano yung itsura ng katakana name ko. And then I actually want you to, okay, so this is my name in katakana. Nakita ko siya. So this is it. No? Okay. Actually, isusulat ko siya ng ano. This is my name in katakana. No? This is Junri. Ayan, Junri Esparar. So in Japanese, we say Junri Esupararu. Junri Esupararu. Okay. So that's how you write your name in katakana. So I want you to write part of your assignment also for this session is to write your name in katakana. Okay? But of course, there's another assignment that I will give you, and you can do that, over the week. Actually, the next meeting perhaps will be next month pa naman, because we will meet only every maybe on the third week of November. Okay? So along with kanji, the Japanese writing system primarily uses two-syllabic or moraic scripts, hiragana and katakana. So dalawa lang yan, katakana, hiragana plus kanji, nagiging Japanese na siya. So Japanese language. So maaaring sabihin nating watashi wa junri esupararo desu. So may mga combinations kasi yan. Japanese yung watashi, and then yung wa is hiragana, junri is parar is katakana, and then the des would be in the des would be in hiragana again. So magiging mako-combine yung lahat ng pamamaraan ng pagsusulat nila. So let me give you a concrete example. Watashi wa, or I am junri esparar. Okay. So let me show you. Okay, I am Junri Esparar. Okay. So it's now raining. I hope your connection won't be affected by it. So yan. Tumutulog pa. Okay, so here is an example of a sentence na sinabi ko na combination siya ng kanji, katakana, and hiragana. Ayan. Watashi. Okay, nakalimutan kong ilagay yung wa. Hindi siya complete na sentence. Dapat may wa kasi siya. Okay, so dapat may wa. No? Kasi kailangan si wa. Wait a moment. Dapat dagdagan natin ng wa para magiging kompleto yung sentence natin. Yung keyboard ko kasi hindi siya ganun ka-flexible. So, dapat yung sentence ko dito ay mali yata eh. Ito yung sentence ko. It's watashi wa. Okay, ito yung complete na sentence, no, na may combination ng Japanese at English. If I write this in Romaji, magiging watashi wa junri esupararu desu. Okay, in Romaji magiging ganito siya. Watashi wa junri esupararu desu. So yung watashi wa dyan ay kanji yan, and then yung wa, this wa here is hiragana, and then the junri esparar is, it's, what do you call this? It's katakana, and the des is hiragana. Okay? Now, moving on, we have here the hiragana chart. Okay? So, nakalagay din dito kung paano siya babasahin, kaya mabilis lang siyang alamin. And okay, we have yung Japanese kasi, when they read, from top to bottom siya, and then right to left. So, dito tayo mag-uumpisa sa kanan, sa pinakamataas. A, pababa, no? A, I, U, E, O. And then, another column, Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko. Then, third, Sa, Shi, Su, Seso. And then, fourth, Tat, Shi, Tsu, Teto. And then, fifth, Nani, Nu, Neno. And then, sixth, Ha, Hi, Fu, He, Ho. And then, next, Ma, Mi, Mu, Memo. And then Ya, Yu, Yo. Ra, Ri, Ru, Rero. Wa, O, and N. So ito yung laman ng hiragana chart. We also have the katakana chart. And just like the hiragana chart, we read it from left to right. Pero dito yung pamamaraan ng pagkasulat ng katakana dito, parang alphabet method. No? Kasi yung A nandito sa left to right siya. Ang tamang pagkasulat talaga should be right to left. No? Ito ay nakaayon lamang sa alphabet na method of writing. Okay? So we have here some Japanese vocabulary words and phrases na makikita din sa inyong module. Okay? So we have there the translation from watashi. Watashi means I. Watashitachi means we. Anata, you. Ano hito is that person. Minasang, ladies and gentlemen, all of you. Sang, Chan, Kun, Jin, Mr. and Miss. We refer it to the person, anyone. Sensei is teacher. Gakusei, student. Taishain, company employee. Inkoeng, bank employee. And Denki, electricity or light. Okay? So, we have Daigaku. Daigaku is university. Byoing is hospital. Dare, who. Okay? Sai means years old. Kaya sinasabi nating halimbawa edad, no? 21 and then sai. Okay? 21 sai means ni chu isai. So niju isai means 21 kasi yung ichi kinumbine siya with sai. So instead of saying ichi sai, we say niju isai. That means 21 years old. Yan. And then we have nansai when you're asking for an age. Nansai desu ka, how old? Hi is yes. No is iye, means no. America, USA. Igirisu, UK. Indo is India. Indonesia. Duitsu, no, for Germany. Furansu for France. Burajiru for Brazil. And Philippine for Philippines. Okay, so please memorize the names of the countries. Okay, and we have additional here of the words that you can learn from the module. So, kung may module kayo ngayon, mababasa ninyo doon. Wakarimas means understand. So, pag sinabi mong wakarimashita means I understood. Yan. Wakarimas means understand. Arimas means have. Okay? So for example, kagi ga arimasu. I have a key. I have keys. Okay? Suki means like. You will say ramen ga ski. Okay? So I like ramen or ramen ga ski desu. Okay? Gusto mo yung ramen. Kiray naman yung dislike na hindi mo gusto. Ramen ga kiray desu. So ibig sabihin, you don't like ramen. Jozo means good at. Magaling ka sa bagay na yan. Basketball ga jozo desu. Okay. Basketball ga jozo desu. So meaning to say I'm good at basketball, for example. Nihongo means Japanese, no? Nihongo means Japanese, no? Nagkamali ako dito, no? Nakasulat ego. And then heta means poor at, no? Kung yung jozo ay good at, yung heta naman is poor at, no? We can still use the word basketball. So basketball ga heta desu, meaning you're not good at basketball. And then we have ryori means dish. Nomimono, drinks. Supotsu means sports. Yakyu means baseball. Dansu means dance. Ongaku means music. Uta means song. Korashiku means classical music. E means picture. Komakai okane means small change. Chiketto, ticket. Jikang, time. Yoji, something to do, an errand. And yakusoku means appointment. So yung chiketo here is a loan word. No? Gaya ng sinabi natin kanina. Yung kurashku is also a loan word. Dansu is also a loan word, an English loan word. Ayan, na ginagamit na rin sa Japanese. No? Marami na rin silang loan words ngayon. So we have here some common expressions that we can use in Japanese. Okay? So I want you to repeat after me, kahit na hindi naka-on yung mic ninyo, but I want you to repeat after me para natin, no, ma-practice natin yung Japanese natin. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Okay.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.
So oyasumi nasai means good night. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
So arigato means, actually it's a long O there. So the word OU, it signifies that we are going to prolong the O sound. So we say arigato gozaimasu. Arigato.
Ar-
Arigato gozaimasu. So, arigato
Arigato.
gozaimasu. Ayan, arigato. Ayan, grabe yung, ano, dito
Arigato.
yung kulog. And then, do itashimashite. Do itashimashite.
Edu, ito
Do
si
itar.
Mate.
Ayan, do kasi, gaya sinabi ko kanina, pag yung O at ang U ay magkasabayan, we are going to
Do.
prolong the O sound. So, do itashimashite. O genki desu ka?
Odeng desu ka?
O genki desu ka?
O genki desu ka?
Hai.
Odeng desu ka?
Hai.
Hi.
And then we have iye. Okay, iye means no. Okay? So we have to say it iye. Iye means no. Kasi meron ding salita na Meron ding May iye. This one, iye. So iye means no. Kasi yung bahay kasi iye. May iye din. Pero iye is the no. Okay? And then sumimasen.
Sumimasen.
Sumimasen. Excuse me. No?
Sumimasen.
Gomenasai. Gomenasai. Gomenasai means I'm sorry. No? Pag humihingi kayo ng paumanhin, gomenasai. No? With the bowing, so nagiging ano na siya, no? Polite na siya na I'm sorry. No? Gomenasai. And then, gochi so sama deshita. Gochi so sama deshita. So, dapat may U yan sa dulo, no? Kasi, gochi so sama deshita. Thank you for eating, you say gochi so sama deshita. Okay? Before eating, you say itadakimasu. So, before eating, Itadakimasu means that's before eating, no? Before eating. Before eating, it's itadakimasu, and then gochi so sama deshita is after eating. Okay? So after eating, gochi so sama deshita. Yeah. Thank you for the meal. And then cheers for kampai. Okay, when you are making a cheer. Okay, now let's move on to the last part of our lesson, which is the basic Japanese grammatical structure. Gagawa tayo ng simpleng sentences in Japanese, starting with the pattern noun 1 plus wa, noun 2 plus des. Ayan. So the particle wa indicates that the word before it is the topic of the sentence. You select a noun you want to talk about and wa to show that it is the topic and in a given sentence or statement, no? Meron tayong example dito. Let me just type it in the chat box para makita ng lahat. So we have here the sentence, Watashi wa Mike Miller desu. Okay? So let us analyze and dissect, no? I-dissect natin yung ating questions or sentence dito. So, yung sentence natin na watashi wa Mike Miller desu, watashi, in Japanese, this is considered as a noun. Okay, this is noun 1. Okay? And then, wa here is the particle, wa, no? Plus wa, particle wa. Wa here is the particle, no? Particle. So, yun yung ginagamit natin to connect sentences. No? Si wa is a particle that separates it's the word that separates the subject from the rest of the sentence. Ibig sabihin, pag may wa, before the wa, yung pinag-uusapan na topic. Okay? Kasi si wa ay magsisilbi, topic marker siya. Separator siya ng subject sa rest of the sentence. No? Kaya, watashi is the subject. Pinag-usapan ako, watashi. So, gumamit tayo ng wa, which is the particle wa. And then, Mike Miller here. Mike Miller is noun 2. Ito na yung another noun. Plus des. Now, des is the word that completes the sentence. Okay? So, Ito yung sentence analysis natin. Watashi is noun 1. Wa, okay, particle wa. Mark Miller is noun 2 plus des to complete the sentence. Another sentence is kore wa sushi des. So kore, it's a demonstrative, yeah? Demonstrative pronoun. Kore, no, when you are showing something. So this, for example, no, this is kore. Wa is the particle, then sushi is noun 2, and des to complete the sentence. Okay?
This.
So,
This.
you can type, okay, please, off lang po natin yung mic ha, para yung recording natin maganda. Kasi I will upload this video later on sa YouTube para mapakinggan din ng iba. You can type your answer in the chat box if you want to say something. Or you can raise your hand, no, if you want to participate. Can you give me a sentence na may ganitong pattern? Noun 1 plus wa plus noun 2 plus des. Okay. Magbibigay ako ng halimbawa, isa pang halimbawa, no? Watashi pa rin. Watashi wa, so ako, para mas mabilis na yung sentence natin. So, watashi wa, Julie, yes. Okay. So, watashi is our noun 1 plus wa plus Junri plus des. Okay. Ito na yung complete sentence natin. Watashi wa Junri des. Can you introduce yourself using the same pattern? Please type it in the chat box. Pwede nating i-type yung ating sentence sa chat box or pwede kayong mag-raise ng hand, no, if you want to introduce yourself using the pattern. Anyone? Okay, sabi ni Disa Figueroa. Ayan, magaling, no? Watashi wa Mary Andes. Okay, thank you. Maglagay naman tayo ng period, no? Although sa Japan, yung period nila yung malaking circle. Not really malaking circle. Para siyang, circle na ginamit nila. But, okay, maganda yung may tayo, may period. Ayan. So, watashi wa Cheryl des. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, watashi, yung pinag-uusapan natin, at si Cheryl ay iisa. No? Kasi si Watashi at saka si Cheryl ay magkatulad. Sabi ni Vincent dito, ni John Vincent, Watashi wa John Vincent des. Okay. Taga saan kayo? Where are you from? Anata wa doko kara kimashita ka? Ano yung pangalan ng lugar ninyo? So, yung question ko ay taga saan kayo, no? Doko kara kimashita ka? No? Taga saan kayo? So, yung sentence ninyo dapat mag-i-end sa kara kimashita. Taga saan kayo? So, for example, I would say, Watashi wa Abankalan kara kimashita. Okay. So, watashi wa Abankalan kara kimashita. So, taga saan kayo? Where are you from? So, you start with the sentence watashi and then use the wa, no, to separate the topic marker. So, ibig sabihin ang pinag-usapan ay ikaw. Ayan. From Mel John, sabi niya, watashi wa bantayan kara kimashita. Ayan, maganda yung signal sa bantayan, no? And then from Mary Joy, watashi wa himamaylan kara kimashita. Very good. From Mary Ann Indraera, watashi wa tampalon kara kimashita. Good, no? Kahit sa tampalon, no, we are having good signal. Disa Figueroa, watashi wa barangay bantayan kara kimashita. Very good, complete. Ergine Cabrillos, watashi wa urong kara kimashita. Good. Cherry Agos, watashi wa barangay Tagok kara kimashita. Good. Cherry May Cordero, watashi wa tampalon kara kimashita. Halos lahat taga tampalon, ano? Joy Miko Kadusali Moreno, watashi wa Inapoy kara kimashita. Ayan, ito'y kababayan ko from Inapoy. Cheryl Calambro, watashi wa Bantayan. Dami estudyante from Bantayan. Riza is from Biniquil. Juna May is from Tampalon. Marami ring Tampalon. Rotselin from Moises Padilla. Ayan, malayo siya, no? From Moises Padilla. Janric Sian Sagon, another kababayan from Inapoy. Joy Caldito from Locotan. Ayan, ang layo, no? Locotan. It's good that the signal there is okay. Saan ba yung Kanlamay? Bernaline is from Kanlamay. Is it Ilog? Ilog ba siya or Kanduni? Is Kanlamay, ano ba siya? Baka, ano ba to? Ano ba? La Castillana ba yung Kanlamay? I'm not sure. O Kanlamay. Ilog. So Ilog pala yung Kanlamay. Ayan. So we have June from June Misaya is from Tubod Bulwang Mabinay. No, we were in Mabinay, I think in 2019, no, bago mag-close, bago mag-pandemic, we visited the cave, no, in Mabinay. Ayan, Barangay 4, si Wendy Rose, okay, si Ellen is from Tagukon, ayan. From Ilog, si Queenie. From Carulan, si Annabelle. Ayan. From Salong, si John Vincent. So, ang daming from Salong, no? And Bantayan, and also from Tampalon. Thank you so much. Okay. Another question is, Nansai deska? Nansai deska means how old are you? Okay. How old are you? So you can start the statement pa rin, watashi wa nani sai desu. Okay. So yung sagot natin, watashi wa, the number, and then sagot, no? Kung ano yung sagot. So, ayan. So we have here, okay. I forgot to tell you na dapat pala merong hyphen or dash. No? Halimbawa, ganito. No? Watashi wa niju sai desu. Ayan. Watashi wa niju sai desu. Nalagyan natin ng dash or hyphen. So to indicate that is niju isai. Ayan. Thank you so much, Joy. Watashi wa niju isai desu. Wendy is okay. Hana is niju nisai. Ayan. Alana is Jukyusai. Jukyusai, that's 19, no? Meron pa nga ditong Juhasai, no? Si Regeline is Juhasai. Bakit ang batang-bata ni Regeline, no? Mary Ann is ni Jusai. Aiza is ni Juisai. Sherry May is Jukyusai. Jukyusai. Okay, so Mel John is ni Jusai. Okay, Maan is ni Ju Gosai. Yan. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Now let's move to the next, and may I request someone to read it? Parang maganda yata yung signal. Sige, you're raising your hand, Mel John. Please read the content of, the second grammatical pattern. Mel John, can you read it?
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello. Go ahead, please. Please read. Now, please read the second pattern, grammatical pattern on the slide. Noun 1 plus wa plus noun 2 plus ja arimasen.
Ja arimasen is a negative form of this. It is a form used in daily conversation for a formal speech or writing. The wa arimasen is used instead.
Okay, thank you so much. Ayan. So, meron tayo ditong negative na pagsasabihin natin na hindi ako yon. So, gagamit tayo ng dewa arimaseng. Pwede namang ja arimaseng. Ja arimaseng is informal and dewa arimaseng is formal or polite. Okay? So, halimbawa dito, Santos sang wa gakusei ja arimaseng. So, ibig sabihin, si Santos, Mr. Santos ay hindi estudyante. So, Santos sang wa gakusei ja arimaseng. Okay. So, in English, Mr. Santos is not a student. Okay. So, yung translation natin. So, Santos sang wa. As you can see here, the pattern still is noun 1, Santos sang is noun 1. plus wa, which is a topic marker that separates na ang pinag-uusapan si Santo-san. Ano si Santo-san? Hindi siya estudyante. So, gakusei is noun to plus ja arimaseng to complete the sentence. Okay? Pwede natin gamitin yung dewa arimaseng. Halimbawa, Santo-san wa gakusei dewa arimaseng. Okay, pwedeng gamitin din natin yung dewa arimaseng, which is a more polite form of ja arimaseng. Tatanungin ko kayo, anata tachiwa sensei desu ka? Okay, ito yung tanong ko. Anata tachiwa sensei desu ka? Are you teachers? Okay, in English, are you teachers? Okay, please answer me with this pattern. Maaari kayong gumamit ng ja arimaseng, maaari ding gumamit ng dewa arimaseng. Okay? Are you a teacher? Please type your answer in the chat box. Pwede rin namang sabihin yung sagot directly if you wanna say something directly. Pwede yung sagutin my question by raising the hand signal, the hand raise button here. Okay, who can answer the question? Are you teachers? Are you a teacher? Please type your answer in the chat box. Gamitin natin yung pattern natin na noun 1 plus wa plus noun 2 plus ja arimaseng. Okay, who can answer? You can type your answer in the chat box. Anyone? Okay, someone is... Okay. Sinong pwedeng sumagot? Okay, Mel John, go ahead. John Vincent Sarah. Are you raising your hands? Aiza Kabangon. Okay, please type your answer in the chat box. Anata tachi wa sensei desu ka? Or anata wa sensei desu ka? So, gamitin natin yung pattern na natutuhan natin. No? Teacher ka ba? So, anong isasagot natin? Please type your answer in the chat box. Okay. Oh, so hindi ninyo ginamit yung ating yung ating pattern. Saan kaya galing itong Sensei Dewa Arimaseng? Galing ito sa internet. Figueroa Sangwa. Sensei Des ka ja Arimaseng. Okay. So yung pattern natin dito is noun 1 plus wa plus noun 2. Ayan, very good si June. Watashi wa Sensei Dewa Arimaseng. Ayan, very good, no? So, pwedeng gamitin din si ja arimaseng. No? Pwedeng sabihin natin na watashi wa sensei ja arimaseng. But that's very good yun. So, watashi wa sensei ja arimaseng or watashi wa sensei dewa arimaseng. Ayan. Actually, the reason why I introduced ja and dewa arimaseng, ja when you are talking to your friends, classmates, peers. Dewa arimaseng when you are talking to your teacher. You are talking to an older person. So, watashi wa sensei dewa arimaseng. Ayan, very good, no? Please use the pattern, no, that we are having here. You don't have to check answers on the internet. No? Ang mahalaga, yung answer na galing dito. Kasi ito yung pinag-aaralan natin, the pattern that we have here. Okay? So we only have 17 minutes left. Now we will end at 3:30. Next is ska. No? Ska or S plus ka. Subject plus ka, rather. So the particle ka is used to express the speaker's doubt, question, uncertainty, etc. So a question is formed by simply adding ka to the end of the sentence. A question ends with a rising intonation. Ito yung example natin. Halimbawa. So, Miller-san wa America Jin desu ka? Okay, so desu ka. Desu ka, actually it's a question, right? So questions asking a statement is correct or not. So as mentioned above, a sentence becomes a question when ka is used to the end and the word order does not change. The question thus makes or made ask whether a statement is correct or not. Depending on whether you agree with the statement or not, your answer to such a question begins with hi or iye. So may mga halimbawa tayo dito. Miller-san wa America jin desu ka? Hai, America jin desu. Miller-san wa sensei desu ka? Iye, sensei ja arimasen. Okay, so I have a question. Okay, the question is with ka. Okay, again, the order or the sequence of the words in the sentence is still the same. We just put ka to make a question. So I'll ask you a question. Anata wa Philippine jin desu ka? Okay. So, pwedeng sagutin natin using the pattern natin dito o sample natin. So, please sagutin natin ito. In English, it says, are you a Filipino? So, ano yung sagot natin? Hi for yes, iye for no. Okay. Ano yung kompletong sagot? No? Dapat may kompletong sagot. No? Tama, hi. Pero ano yung kompletong sagot? No? May pattern tayo dito, oh. Sundin natin yung pattern.
Do kay Tito Jan, guro mo?
So, hi. Ayan. Thank you, June. Hi, Philippine Des.
Ako
Tama.
na.
Hi. Hi, Philippine Des. Ayan. Thank you. Hindi na kailangan yung wa, Cherry. You can just remove the wa. Hi, because the pattern does not have wa. So you can just say, hi, Philippine Jin des. Okay. Okay, tama, no? Dapat may Philippine Jin. Okay, nakalimutan ko yung Philippine Jin. Kasi yung lugar, yung country ay Philippine. Yung tao ay Philippine Jin. So hindi ka naman country pala, kaya dapat tao ka. So, hi, Philippine Jin des. Ayan, magaling. Roseville, correct? Okay. Haname, hi, Philippine Jin des. Ayan, very good. Another question. Anata wa America Jin des ka? Ayan. Anata wa Philippine Jin des ka? Ano yung sagot natin dito? What is our answer here? Anata wa Philippine Jin des ka? What is our answer? Please type it in the chat box. You may answer it directly if you want. You can use the raise hand button. Anata wa America jin desu ka? Okay, please type your answer in the chat box. Okay. Actually, it's iye. Okay, dalawang I po yun. Iye. Iye means no. Samantalang yung iye means house. Kaya dapat iye means no. Iye, so iye, house. So, dapat kompleto siya. No? Ano yung kulang doon? Kulang yung sagot natin, no? So, iye, ayan. America, Jean, ano yung kulang? Nakalimutan niyo yung kanina, no? Yung previous. Nakalimutan niyo yung pag no ang sagot. Ano yung karugtong? Wala pang nakatama. Wala pang nakatama ng sagot. America, Jinja. Hindi po des. Kasi yung ja, ang pares po nun ay hindi des. Iye. Okay, yung tamang sagot ay iye, America, Jinja, arimasen. Or pwede namang iye, America, Jin, dewa, arimasen. Okay. Ito yung tamang sagot, no? So, wag natin kalimutan yung previous na statement natin kasi magkarugtong lang naman yung previous at ng bagong statement natin. Okay? And we have questions here with interrogatives, no? An interrogative replaces the part of the sentence that covers what you want to ask about. So the word order does not change and ka is added at the end. Ano katawa dunata desu ka? Sino ang taong yun? Sino ang taong yun? So, ano katawa Miller-san desu? So, ito yung question natin. Ano katawa dunata desu ka? Tinatanong ka, who is that person? Yung sagot ay, that person is Mr. Miller. Okay, Mr. Miller. Sabi dito, ano katawa Miller sang des? Okay. Ito yung direct translation niya. Ano katawa dunata desu ka? Who is that person? Ano katawa Miller sang des? Kung ating titingnan, ang pattern ay pare-pareho lang siya, no? Tinanggal lang natin yung des kasi des is a statement. Des ka is a question. So when you answer, just remove the the ka, and you will have the complete sentence. No? Sino ang taong yun? Who is that person? That person is Mr. Miller. So ano katawa dunata desu ka? Ano katawa Miller sang des? Ayan. Okay, so I think at this point in time, we are now heading towards Module 2 and we do not have much time left. This is my assignment to you for our next meeting. No, at least we're able to meet today, no, kahit papaano, nakapag-meet tayo today. And I'm very thankful of your attendance. I will be